Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Welcome back to Fandom Entanglement. And this is Twas the Slide Before Christmas, part of the 12 Slides of Christmas. I'm Damon Sugamelli. This is my co-host, Mike Bloxam.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Almost.
Almost. And we've got quite a few people with us. I will introduce most of them. We have joining us again in alphabetical order. Perry Bruns. Eric Dreiling.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm. And Lisa Hollofield, who has not joined us in a
Merry
while.
Christmas, guys.
Yeah, she has not joined us in a while. I had to get her back for this because I know you're a Wade fan, so that's why I wanted you on this. And Mike, I'll let you introduce the newbie here.
Yeah, we got my friend Peter joining us today. We were chatting about sliders, and I said, well, we should have you on the podcast sometime, and he specifically mentioned this episode. I thought, well, it was meant to be, so why don't you hop on with us, and we'll chat about Season's Greetings together.
Nice to meet you, Peter.
Yep.
All right. I don't know if we really want to go through because we have a lot of people. I don't know if everybody wants to let us know what they're doing or what they're up to. Eric is just. I don't think Eric has to, but because you literally were just on the episode before this, but
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, Perry. What have you been up to?
Well, I just finished my 250th show with the Murder Mystery Company by American Immersion Theater. We are in our holiday rush, what we call Elite Weeks. I am also doing Tampa Metropolitan Improv this December 12th, this Friday, which means it will already have happened by the time you hear this episode or see it. But we are benefiting we are benefiting Feeding Tampa Bay, which is a charity I believe in a lot in. I've done a little work for them over the years, so it was really exciting to find out about that. And then around the first of the year, I've got some voice work lined up, so it's a very exciting time for me.
Nice.
All right.
All right, Lisa, what have you been up to? It's been a while.
Well, as you can see from this, I am no longer in North Carolina.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember I said I was moving?
Yeah.
That's why I've been kind of quiet. I was really busy over the summer moving and finding work and finding an apartment. So now I'm in Philadelphia. Not too far from you, Damon.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. It's
Mhm.
my first experience living up north since I was a wee baby, and it's a lot of fun. But I don't really have a life because I work overnights. So I work overnight, I sleep during the day, and then most of the time I have to myself is in evening, which is not very much. But you guys will be pleasantly surprised. No interruptions. Kiddos are gone.
Oh, okay. I wish I
Yeah.
could say.
My daughter got married.
Oh, congratulations.
My son
Yeah.
graduated from high school and now lives with his dad. So
Oh,
me, myself, and I.
all right. All right, Peter. Why don't you let us know how you got roped into this?
Yeah. Mostly, Mike just randomly said, hey, if you want to ever be on the show, let us know. And I said, okay, well, there's 2 episodes that I really liked,
Mhm.
and one you guys had just done. And then I said there was that one where there was like a shopping mall slavery thing. And he's like, oh, we're doing that one next week. So I'm like, okay, I'll join. Why not?
All right. Well, it's great to have you on with us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, if something comes up and you don't mind doing one, we got some bad ones coming up toward the end of the
Yeah.
season, right?
Cool.
So, and then this season 4. But hey, maybe if you want to come back, that's fine. All right, we're not going to go through like the whole details of the guest star stuff because we've done this already. But I'll just remind everybody we're talking about Season's Greetings, Season 3, Episode 12, aired December 20th, 1996, from the DVDs. On a world where people are enticed by consumerism and giant malls in the sky, the sliders get jobs as mall employees in order to find the mother of an abandoned child. Arturo is a reluctant Santa. Rembrandt and Wade are his elves, while Quinn gets an administrative job Meanwhile, Wade faces some strong emotions when she meets her sister and father. And of course, we've got our regular cast: Jerry O'Connell as Quinn, Sabrina Lloyd as Wade, Clevant Derricks as Rembrandt, and John Rhys Davies as Arturo. Our guest stars are Chase Masterson as Kelly Wells, Neil Roberts as Ted Burnson. I think, Lisa, you had a note about Neil Roberts.
Yes, I recognize him almost immediately, having been an old school Charmed fan from back in the day. He was Rex Buckland in season 1, which was Prue's boss at the auction house, and also the warlock bad guy. The big warlock bad guy.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, unless you watch Charmed, you would have no idea. But yeah,
I've seen Charmed. My mother-in-law watched it sometimes, which is a little surprising that she would watch that, but it's an interesting show. I mean, I can see why they're into like all the magic and everything.
as soon as I saw his face and heard his accent, I was like, I know this guy. I
Oh,
know this guy. And then I looked up the episode to see. Well, I looked at your thing to see what his actual name was, and I put it in. I was like,
that's who he was.
that's where I know him from.
Oh, okay.
Charmed. Because he was like the season 1 big bad.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, we've got Alan Williams as Don Wells, Stuart Fracken as the instructor, and we have co-starring Paul Messenger as Priest, Jodie Curtis as Ginny, Sean Flynn Amir as Jason, and Nicholas Keelan as Kid Number 2. Written by Eleah Horwitz, directed by Richard Compton, and we are basically visiting Mall World is our main world. All right, so Mike and I have already done our first impressions.
Yeah.
I will let whoever, I don't know, let's just go in order here. Lisa, you have the first. You want to go first?
yeah. As the seasons go on, there's less about the social commentary and more just about whatever's like cool. Even though it doesn't always make sense, and it's good. I think the show functions at its best, at its core, when it's doing like these episodes that function that focus on real world issues and things, that really do affect people. It's in that vein. It sort of has like a quantum leapish quality to it, where that's what they do when they go to these worlds. They see something that is wrong, they try to fix it, they try to change people's lives for the better.
Yeah.
It lost some of that along the way with the outlandish freaking sci-fi storylines, like you said, as it got less about the people and more about what's cool to draw ratings. But this is when it functions best. And it's not easy. Christmas episodes can often come off as kind of cheesy and, just something stupid to say happy holidays. But in rare instances, you can get a Christmas, when they do it well, you can get a Christmas episode that's good. And we'll talk about this later, but I have a feeling why they did it this way. But we'll talk about it later.
Okay. All right. Eric, you go next.
Pretty much in agreement with everything Lisa said, really. It's if they insisted on the mall setting, I get it for the consumerism commentary. We get enough of the sci-fi with just them traveling to alternate worlds. I don't think they should have used the floating mall in the sky thing. They could have just kept it any mall and had the same story. And I think that would have had a greater impact overall, because the whole mall thing in the sky, it didn't really add anything. It was just like, hey, that's kind of neat, and then nothing else about it. So the Wade storyline, I think, was great. Learning more about Arturo's background, that hit, because I have family that were affected by World War II, and hearing his story about his loss and how he was separated from his father, it just, those moments really made the episode. So I do really think it was one of the better seasons, because episodes of season 3, because the entire season itself was merely action spectacle.
Right.
And like Lisa said, is whatever looked cool on the screen for the week. Yeah. So it was rare that we got these stories, but it was great when we did.
All right. Is this, I guess, Peter, you go.
Yeah. So, it was funny because I asked for I was interested in this episode, but when I watched it, I was shocked about how I basically remembered nothing about the episode,
Mhm.
except I just had very favorable memories of it. And I think it was really about like the themes that the show gave about consumerism and Christmas and all that stuff. I think that's what stayed with me like 20 years later. And sort of like this more subtle plot points and even that the Sky Mall was a Sky Mall. I had totally forgotten. Um, but like it was a pretty interesting episode, and it just seemed to jump around between all the characters. Everyone sort of seemed to have their own little subplot. Um, the thing with the priest and taking the baby at the start, that kind of drove me a little. I just thought that was kind of very contrived, that like they would just say, give us 2 days and you can hold on to this baby before you phone the authorities. Just sort of seemed a little out of place, but overall I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Mm. All right, Perry.
That was a bit of a convenient plot point, mainly because of child labor laws, I think, in Hollywood at the time, or Vancouver, because they usually shot Vancouver for San Fran. I think this was one of my favorite episodes of Sliders because there is so much good television practices, good story writing practices. They had a strong A and B story, and they both paid off in the end. You could call the Wade element a C story almost, but because it was strong enough on its own that it would have held up.
Yeah.
You could have done the whole episode about that.
Yeah.
But I think it more folded into the A story of the debt slavery, the Sky Mall. I mean, we can't. Does Delta still do Sky Mall? I forget.
What?
Sky High Plaza. I'm sorry. Also, little touches like the shift in moods from the implied flight from Pygmy World being a lot of different comedy elements. The I didn't know smiling at him meant we were married, and the arrow pocked shields, and then suddenly, ooh, founding baby. We've got a massive mood shift right off the bat, and then the rest of the episode pays everything off.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you add this, Lisa, about the alternate history? About who said
Charlie Brown. Apparently, either there was no Charles Schultz in this world, or Charles Schultz just never created Charlie Brown. She's like, "Who's Charlie Brown?"
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Remember, you're the one that added the quote.
yeah, but I was like, right, yeah, no, yeah, who knows if Charles Schultz even did it or not? Yeah. Okay, so we're not gonna. All right, so how do we want to do this? We're not gonna go into the deep dive necessarily, but I guess we'll just go down what we have here in the notes. So if you want to start, Eric, with what you observed.
Mostly the scenes with Arturo being the department store Santa. He was appealing to the children's like developing morality by telling the stories. I felt that it really helped give the episode its strength. Because when you had the first child sitting on his lap, it's like, I want this and I want that and I want that.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, let me tell you a story. And then I think that was my favorite quote. It was something like, once upon a time, there was this little boy who was rotten and stinky. His name was, and then it conveniently cuts to the next scene. And I don't know why, but that humor just kind of stuck with me. Because when you go back to that scene later, you have all the kids. He like, Arturo in a rare moment kind of gives up. It's like, I don't think I'm reaching them. I'm done. That's it. And Rembrandt's like, you don't know who was listening.
Yeah.
You never know who you reach.
Yeah.
And till the little kid says, I'm sorry, I don't, I think he did something to his brother's sister's toy. He didn't want to get coal in his stocking.
Right.
So it's like, I don't want to get coal in my stocking, Santa. And so then all the kids start gathering around. So part of my first impression, I think Arturo gave a lot to that episode, and it was an anchor, if you will. So I loved it.
Perry was next.
Yeah, this almost belongs in the line section, but I thought it was an element of the message of the film because it's so or the TV show, it's so dystopian. Since when does a mall have schools, libraries, and a hospital? I live down the street from what's left of University Mall by the Rhythm. And they, in fact, do have medical facilities, like 2 or 3 schools. The only thing they don't have is residential yet. Oh, wait, no, actually, it has been changed into mixed use. There is an apartment complex on where the mall used to stand. They shrunk the footprint of the mall and they put in an apartment building with a big parking garage. Of all the things to age well in a 30-year-old sci-fi series, the society at the time was not what I was expecting. Yeah, there was no big internet presence in the episode, which we now know. Rembrandt would have not been on the phone to, the TV shopping channels. He would have been on Amazon. Oh, I'm sorry. He would have been on a large e-commerce website.
Right.
For legal reasons. But I actually think that the phone thing and the people dropping off gifts was actually a much better comedic element, visual comedy element, even if it was a tiny bit exaggerated.
Yeah.
Right. And Peter,
Yeah.
you were asking about the movement of time.
Yeah, you sort of had mentioned in the notes you said, like, when they came through, they said they had lost track of time, and I thought, like, was it ever established in the series? It's more of like the geeky sci-fi part of me that wonders, like, did we establish that time travels the same between all the worlds? Or
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
it is, yeah. I couldn't
Except for-
remember.
Except for one.
That's right.
Time moves at the same speed in each of the parallel universes.
Yeah, it's usually it's like I said, if it's 1996 here, it's 96 where we're going also. Except when they're on in the Guardian episode where time is moving at a slower pace or something, and when things were moving backwards, which is confusing episode,
Right.
but I always like that one.
But if that is
Yeah.
true, I mean, that's a little something that stuck out to me because when the episode starts and they're down in the sticks, like they're, there's no sort of, even at Wade's father's house, there's no like technology that would suggest how in the world they got that mall in the sky. Because it doesn't seem like that world is any more technologically advanced than any other 1996 type world that they've been to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
True.
Yeah, what
Well,
keeps
like
the
we're-
Sky High Plaza sky high?
So how the hell did they get it up there?
Yeah.
There was actually, I
Titanium.
think I saw it online years ago. It was on back when B boards were all the thing, and
Yeah.
everybody, yeah, that's going way back. I know, but there was actually somebody had said that at one point, it was either during seasons 3 or 4, that they wanted to do a time travel episode. They just couldn't make it work with what they've already established, how interdimensional travel works. So for a while, they've been kicking around an idea, okay, how can we send them back in time? But combining that, I think it just would have made the series more confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you write a letter to the BBC and go, "Hey, can we talk to you? Explain how you did, how you do Doctor Who and how all that shit works."
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was just thinking about this. Something Perry said about with how Rembrandt would have been buying the gifts if it had been made today. He would have been on his phone. It just would have been on scrolling through Amazon on his iPhone or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
it wouldn't have been as visually dramatic as him holding the phone and frantically, I got to get these gifts, man.
Because even in the 90s, e-commerce was taken off. I mean, first you
Yeah, it
had
was.
like shopping for basic items, but then even back in 96, 97, e-commerce was already starting to develop, although it was still years off from what we have today. But still, that would have been a neat little subplot to put in, like how would they take on e-commerce if everybody's already, living in the mall? And
All right, might as well bring up the baby being left off with because Perry's got the next point because they say they're here for 2 days. Yeah.
Hey, free baby. Seriously though, it's a good early swerve because there's a lot of stuff where something goes wrong, but it's not necessarily something that affects the rest of the world they're on. The world they're on is often kind of static until they come in and mix everything up. In this case, Arturo has a baby in his hands and it's mixing him up because of issues we see later on. Also, Jacqueline Obradors, who plays Carol, the actual Carol, not the other 41, would also appear later in 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford and Anne Heche.
Oh, okay.
And then in the criminally underrated Disney film Atlantis the Lost Empire as Audrey the Mechanic, the two for finishing.
Oh.
And
Okay.
she, to me, is one of the better actresses in a lot of films that I don't necessarily think deserve her. She's just, every time I see her in a film, she's always good. And this was no exception. She was one episode of a TV series, she had an extremely sympathetic character, but it would have been very easy for her to fall back on the script and just go, okay, I'm sympathetic because that's how the character reads. But she put so much into Carol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think she actually plays a little older than she was at the time. I think she was in her early 20s in 1995.
Yeah. Okay.
And she feels older in the way she's played, the fact that she's playing a permanently indebted cleaning person,
Mm-hmm.
and she wants to give her kid a better chance.
Yeah.
Just, it really hit
Mm.
home.
Yeah. Yep. All right. What do we think about Chase Masterson as Lita herself from Deep Space Nine is playing Wade's sister?
Perfectly
Yeah.
cast.
I
The
don't know where
look
the hell they
alone, you
found
could
her,
tell.
Yeah.
but she looks like she could be Wade's Sabrina Lloyd's
Yeah.
twin. Like they look
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
exactly alike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I we've said that but already. Like, yeah, I think it was perfect. Perfect casting for it. Okay, where else are we here? With the amount of money that they're getting each week. Well, you said it,
Yeah,
Mike.
we shortly find out
Yeah.
what their wages are and how they have to spend, almost 80% of it on other things, and they get $20 for savings, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But this is something,
$100 for their room and board, $80 they must spend, and then $20 to save. And
yeah.
that's it.
Mhm.
Perry made a good point
Yeah.
here that it's cashless.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the fast food server does not accept money, despite, especially since we don't know where that money was actually from.
That's true.
Could have been from any one of the worlds we
That's
visited. But she doesn't accept it. It's all cashless. And she kind of, I'm sorry, we don't accept cash here. Like, they should know that by now.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't put this down, but also $28.70 for fast food for 4. Man, I missed the 90s.
Today, that's
Oh,
like a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think, that's a good point to make about the money, like how they use it when they go from world to world. Because I don't think since the pilot, where they handed over money from their world, did someone look at it and go, "This ain't right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know in Rembrandt, but it was in the pilot, the dollar bill is actually the symbol of the revolution, like underground.
Mhm.
But then every other world, they just fork over money and nobody thinks twice. So I always thought that was a little interesting, like, lack of detail, I guess. I think there could have been something more.
Mhm. Yeah. Do you have something to say about it, Peter? With the whole
Yeah, yeah, it actually kind of reminded me of the company store, like the old mining towns and stuff like that. And I think that stuck with me a little bit because Malcolm in the Middle, the TV show,
Uh-huh.
they had a little story arc with Francis being stuck in a logging camp, and it was the same kind of thing. Like your money gets deducted, your housing, your food, and everything else. And I think that partly stood with me, as well as because I can actually relate to that. Because when I was a teenager, I worked at a summer camp, and like they told us we got paid like $100 a week or whatever it was. It wasn't much. We were mostly there for the fun.
Mhm.
But when I got my paycheck, it was like we didn't get it paid. We weren't paid $100 to be there. We were paid like $1,200 to be there. But then they took off like they actually took off our lodging, they took off like 3 meals, and they took off like our camp sweaters and everything else. So then we were left with $100.
Wow.
So like it wasn't like they tricked us into doing it, but I'm like when I watched that episode and they did this, I'm like this has happened to me. This isn't like some crazy outlandish thing.
Mhm.
Like it happens in Canada with the way our labor laws are, and I'm sure if you just let corporations dictate how their town is run, I'm sure that they really would only let you keep $20 out of, what was it, $200 a week.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I would almost kind of equate that with being in the military, having had been in the military for 8 years.
Mhm.
You too, huh?
When you, depending on whether or not you live on base housing or if you're live in your own place, my husband, my 2 kids, and I, we lived on base housing, and they are supposed to, the amount that you would pay in rent, is in addition to your military pay, but because that goes automatically to the base to pay for your rent
Mhm.
and your bill, your power, water, you never see it.
Mhm.
So
BAH.
Yeah.
yeah, your BAH you will never see because it goes directly to pay for your housing, and your BAS, which is your base allowance for food, like so you can go shopping, and that you don't even get because you only get that if you literally live on base. Like if you're single and you live in single housing on base and you have to eat at the canteen, then you'll see that money so that you can support yourself and you can buy your own food. But if you live out in town, or if you live in like a base housing in an apartment or in a townhouse the way that we lived in, we didn't get the BAS because we lived outside the base, so they expected us to pay for our own shit. And
Yeah.
my paycheck was less than $1,000 a month. And this was back in 2000 and what was the second time? 2008.
Oh, okay.
With 2 kids and a husband who couldn't work because he was the only one that could stay home to take care of the kids.
Right.
They were very
Yeah.
little. They were very little. They were like 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, it's like
BAH hasn't changed much. When I had it, I lived off post, but I only lived like a mile off site. So the BAH was nice, but
you'll
it
never
goes
see it.
quick.
And
So,
I promise you,
talking about that, it's like
I
reviewing the
promise you,
LES,
if you
making sure
think
they're
that,
giving the right wages.
but if you think that military people have big checks, no. And unless you're a chief or an officer, no.
Well, even a
You're-
second lieutenant gets paid the same as an E6 staff sergeant.
Yep.
So you really don't see the money until actually a major.
You'd have to be like 04, 05, 06, that kind of level to see that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was an
Yeah,
E5.
the exceptions are flight pay and then hazardous duty pay, which has gone up, although it's still not nearly enough.
Yeah.
Or actually, they called it imminent danger pay when I was in the Navy in the 90s. I'm not sure if that changed.
Well, I got hazardous duty pay in the 2000s when the 2 times that I was deployed. And it was certain zones there was tax free, of course, but once you came back,
Yeah.
you lose all that extra pay. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's really not as
Yeah,
much as you
dropped
think
right
it
off.
is.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I do kind of get that struggle. That poor woman was working her ass off and then forced to buy more stuff, which just adds to her debt, so she never can pay off her debt.
Yeah.
And all
Yep.
because
And she was docked.
subliminal
Yeah.
messaging.
Right. Right.
Makes you wonder why
Yeah.
if maybe Amazon figured this out or something.
Like, does it actually work? Because the studies have shown that it really doesn't work in the real world.
Yeah.
Though it always pops up in sci-fi whenever media are questioned. But that said, I loved I don't think anyone else put this down, but the visuals when Arturo discovered the subliminal messaging
Yeah.
were super 90s
Yeah.
with all the different
Flashing.
superimposed images and bright colors everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, Perry, I guess you have stuff about when Wade is finally seeing coming face to face with her sister.
Yeah,
and-
she sees her she sees her parallel family, and there is a massive. She has a panic attack essentially.
Yeah.
And I thought that Sabrina Lloyd gave a very good performance of that.
Yeah.
Of I can't no, there's a sudden. She locks up. I can't see them. I can't let them know I'm here. And of course, then they don't recognize her. So it's kind of at first it's like, oh, well, what was she worried about? And then you find out why they don't recognize her, and it's crushing. But just and also having Chase Masterson as that unassuming HR person who we find out isn't quite so unassuming and is also her parallel sister, for the looks reason and the fact that Chase Masterson, another actress who I don't think is capable of turning in a bad performance.
Yeah.
Because she went from this to being Lita in Deep Space Nine, excelled in that. She does tend to play characters with a certain appeal, but that is certainly not a bad thing. She does tend to play the cute ones, but it works.
Yeah.
That
And
scene
it's still
though,
paying off you today. She plays Lita in Star Trek Lower Decks in the last couple of seasons, where
Right.
she and Rom are now running the Ferenginar.
Oh, trust me, I think they were very well aware of what the guys would be looking at. When I saw
Oh,
her
certainly,
walking,
yeah.
when I saw her she was walking across the screen talking with, who was it? She was talking to her boss, and
Mm.
I was looking at her. I was going, "Oh my god!" I almost, this is why I'm so glad that 90s fashion is gone, because that skirt was so short. I was like, how in the world does this chick sit in a chair and not like flash everybody? But that
I'm
was the
assuming
thing then.
very carefully.
Exceedingly short skirts, even in the business world, exceedingly short
Yeah.
skirts that are just not.
Well, I think that kind of add to what Perry was saying about that scene with Wade, having that panic attack about coming face to face with the parallel family. I think what made the scene even better is when she turned around, she braced herself for nothing, no recognition. It was
Yes.
just, and that crushed her even more than the
Mhm.
panic
Yeah.
attack itself. So that
Exactly.
whole scene right there, and I don't know, like Quinn just seemed kind of, I don't want to say callous, but he seemed to like not care too much how it was affecting her. It's like, come on, not like we haven't done this before, and it was just, it seemed like uncharacteristic of Quinn, especially
I
when he
think
runs into doubles of his mother or even his father.
Yeah.
So
I think that could be part of his neurodivergence, as they weren't technically playing him, but it was there. And also, it gives Wade the opportunity, as she does, to ground the entire series again and say, well, not to ask the big question again, but when are we getting home? When do we get to go home?
Yeah, at first when
Which
I
I
saw,
think Quinn and Arturo, I think, remember the least. I think Rembrandt and Wade are definitely much more of the, is this it? Is this the one?
at first when I saw how she reacted, I haven't seen the show, like I said, in a very long time, so I couldn't remember if there was some backstory that I was missing. Did she not have a good relationship with her sister and her father, or whatever? But it didn't. It wasn't like that. It was more that I think it's just becoming increasingly harder for her to see these doubles and not be able to stay with them and be with them, especially around Christmas time. Like, that's one other thing that I wanted to talk about for my stuff that we'll get to. Y'all guys go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Well, mine's very like psychological, so I'll wait till y'all guys are done.
That's fine.
Right. And I did mention that we get Masterson establishing herself as a low-key femme fatale.
Yeah.
And I feel like the instant chemistry between her and Quinn in that first scene where they meet is a bit much. I mean, yeah, we know that's why the producers wanted Quinn to be in the show at all.
Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell. But it's like, okay, chemistry slider up, we're good. Let's go.
We mentioned it too, how it just seemed very awkward. It's like, that's Wade's sister. He's like almost getting it on with there. It's like come
and
on.
he's never mentioned any attraction to her sister, who is older than Wade.
Yeah.
So,
and you think back to the episode Last Days when they had their moment before Arturo just kind of obliterated it.
Right.
And so you think about that, and then Quinn's putting the moves on the sister, so I can kind of like,
that pissed me off, because this asshole, this little petty bitch, bratty asshole, has no problem giving the stink eye to any guy that breathes in her direction. But at the same time, he'll go and flirt with anybody, anything female.
Yeah, so I think if it were written today and I were writing it, I would probably have her turn on the escalator and go, "Hey, you want to think with the physics head?"
No, because he was doing
Want to get your head in the game?
He was doing the flirty flirt in front of Wade's face, like literally right in front of her face. I'm like, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
And then when
that's kind of
when they're all dressed as elves, and she comes and says, "You know what? I've got something," and she like runs her hands down his chest. "I've got something better in mind for you. Come on!" Like she's propositioning him. And he's like, "Oh hell yeah!" And I'm just looking like, "Who is you, man? Where did you go? Who are you? This is not. Did you switch with a doppelganger? Because this is not you."
Yeah, it's just one of those changes that happened when Fox took more control over the show, because seasons 1 and 2, Quinn was an awkward, geeky, but lovable explorer.
Yeah.
He wasn't quick to jump, except for the El Cid episode, but that's completely justified given what Sid was trying to do to that poor woman. But beyond that, he was more of an explorer. He was more like carrying the weight of trying to get everybody home, and he's focused on that. And then season 3, somebody looks at him cross-eyed, he jumps and punches him, and he doesn't even ask questions
Yeah.
about it. And then all these women across the multiverse are in love with Quinn, so it's like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
okay, we're supposed to accept it and move on, but it's enough of a distraction, and it's definitely noticeable. So it's
Mhm.
unfortunate, but more network interference, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I get that Jerry is a handsome guy and all, but speaking as the sole female person on this panel, no,
I know.
pass, hard pass.
And I'm willing to bet money some studio executive was thinking they were being innovative by having the woman come on to the guy. And it's like, ooh, it's a reversal.
Yeah. Mhm.
And no, it was just as smarmy as, again, it was fun because it was Chase Masterson and Jerry O'Connell who happened to work very well together.
Mhm.
But it read like, let's move this along.
That's a yeah.
Actually, he irritated me this entire episode, but again, we will discuss that later.
Yeah. Well,
I do not blame you.
yeah. Well, I had some things to say, Perry, about with the subliminal advertising, or advertisements on every screen.
Yes. What a wild concept. I'd certainly hate to see that catch on.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I will say this: there are certain aspects of the episode that do seem timeless, that seem like it could fit into today, like
Mhm.
whether it's a set piece or it's a
Mhm.
type of social commentary on consumerism.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's there. I found myself when I was revisiting the episode that tend to forget, like, I'm watching an episode that's almost 30 years old.
Right.
Mm.
Mhm.
Like, especially with the way the mall looked,
Mhm.
even though there's a lot less people in malls today, but back then the way it looked and everything, that is kind of what started bringing a lot of the memories back of being a teenager in the 90s,
Mhm.
tracking through the mall, hanging out
Yeah.
with your friends, and
Yeah.
recognizing like a who's who of the stores. Like, if you
Yeah.
notice, there's even one, it was kind of a weird shot. It was Chase Masterson, Jerry O'Connell talking, and in the background was Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was intentional or if that was. I'm
I
like,
sure
wait, I had to
hope
pause
it
and
was.
rewind. I'm like, I did see that, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, they showed Victoria's Secret.
True story. For many years, University, the closest mall to my house, had a Santa's Village in one of the atria near the food court, or near under the food court. And every single year they had it, Victoria's Secret was lined up diagonally directly behind it, so that you could frame Santa's chair right in front of Victoria's Secret.
Wow.
Well, I don't think
And
Victoria's got a whole lot of secrets left these days.
no,
but,
no, she
I
does
mean,
not.
it's just
Let's be real; the store names that we could see were probably the only ones that the show itself could afford to pay to
Probably.
use for product placement.
Yeah.
At
Right.
the time.
Probably, yeah. Now they could probably afford a lot more.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
today would be Apple. Apple would be all over that episode.
Right.
Quinn would be pulling out a
Yeah.
MacBook or an iPhone or something,
Mhm.
So it's
You do want to sign up for Apple Care Plus, right?
only 80% of your income now.
Yeah.
There would definitely be like a Starbucks around there somewhere.
Oh,
There's
God,
always
everywhere.
a Starbucks in every mall.
Good news,
Everywhere.
kids. I took care of the whole spending requirement in one place.
All right, Mike, you might as well say your comment about the kid.
Well, the one thing we were talking about how it could have been today. The one thing that does stick out is the '90s slang. Of course,
Mhm.
the kid says, "What a buzzkill," and Arturo repeats back, "Yes,
Mhm.
buzzkill indeed," or something like that.
Yeah, he
So-
yes-anded the kid. I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, you had something else to say about it, Perry, or
The kid coming back and being honest and contrite was not a requirement. They did not have to do that, but it was such a little beautiful bonus beat that added to the show
Mhm.
itself, in addition to leading into Santa gathering all the kids around and telling them stories.
oh yeah.
And it was such a wonderful bit of honesty. And the kid came, it's very hard to find good child actors in Hollywood.
Mhm.
Hmm.
They're everywhere, and they've got, stage manager parents, and they have certain expectations, and they don't always come across as genuine. This felt like a genuine kid.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And they also only have him for a certain period of time, so they got to get as much out of him as they can in that short period of
Right.
time.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You know,
Aforementioned child labor laws, not as strict as with infants, but still strict. Which
Yeah,
is why they didn't have Arturo carrying the baby around the whole episode.
the scenes with Rembrandt going crazy though with the spending.
Oh, yeah.
His first interaction was with the professor, and then his next one was with Quinn. I felt I know you only got like 45 minutes or so to kind of tell the whole story, but I believe that there still could have been a little bit more they could have done with Rembrandt, because he was just kind of there to show how the mall is brainwashing people into spending money they don't have.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, I mean, Clavant Derricks did kind of break out of that in the last 2 seasons. He got to do more with Rembrandt, which is great. But in this particular episode, he was there just to kind of like, hey, we're brainwashing. Hey, look at this right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just kind of there could be more to, what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do feel like he is the most vulnerable to in-world effects like that in other episodes. I don't know any specifics in mind, but it's like in this episode, he's the only one that's affected by the subliminal advertising.
Yeah.
And I think some of it, as I touch on later, comes from his background. But
well,
I still
that
think
and the
you're
fact that
absolutely
the others are distracted with other things. You got Wade, who's focused emotionally on her family right now, is not really looking at the screens. You got Quinn, who is distracted by the short skirt.
Yeah.
And Arturo, obviously, his main focus is Carol, is finding the mother of that child. Rembrandt was just killing time, basically doing whatever they had to do to keep money flowing. I was just looking at this going, he was getting like 15 presents for a Wade. I'm like, you got a bag of endless holding there somewhere for all that shit? Because I don't know how you gonna take it with you.
Yeah.
With Warhol.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think that was on his mind though. He was so brainwashed that he was just buy.
But isn't that what we all do now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a
Very
way?
much.
Right.
They could have made the subliminal messaging effects less obvious in those like flashing circles on the screen, because the moment you see that, it's like, okay, they're up to something. They could have done it a little more like subtly. They could have Quinn figured out, because for a moment he kind of looked at the screen like, wait, what's this? Like he was picking up on the subliminal messages, but it was kind of obvious to the viewer when the flashing circles and I just thought that was kind of, even for 90s fare, that was kind of cheesy.
Well, even today, we see bits in TV shows that make the audience feel smarter, or at least seem to want to make the audience feel smarter. And I think that's one of those.
All right. Well, I can understand that one. Yeah. But like, this was like 30 years ago. So you look back on it now and it's like, I don't know.
All right. Do you want to go on here, Lisa? You got your whole thing about.
Okay.
Yeah.
This episode was a dichotomy for me. I really did enjoy it, but at the same time it broke my heart, because I could tell. You know how sometimes in shows, I mean, now it's so easy to find out things about shows because they post all their stuff everywhere, so you really get spoiled like crazy. Back then you didn't, and you had to rely on whatever you could see with your own eyes in the show itself. And that's why back then, if they knew that a character was going to be leaving at some point, you could always feel it by some things would happen in the episodes leading up, like some emotional something or other would impact.
Like some great reveal kind of.
Yeah, some
about that?
reveal, some emotional impact, some episode that, makes them feel important or whatever. And then it all leads up into that. And then and something about them changes the way the rest of the group perceives them or makes them love that person even more. And then that episode happens like that and they're gone.
Yeah.
This was times 2.
Oh, yeah.
I knew, obviously hindsight being what it is, I knew that Arturo's time was not long.
Right.
And I also knew that at the end of season 3, Wade would be gone.
Yeah.
I could feel it. I could feel it, especially with Wade. When she was looking back at her father at the end and saying goodbye to him, that look of sadness in her face.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell she was just resigned. She had given up. She had lost all hope. She didn't think there was going to be any way for them to get back to their home. And she was trying to relate this to Quinn, but oh my God, Quinn became a rat the whole episode. Like, as soon as they showed up and she's like, I just feel like, you tell me, when are we going to get home? He's like, oh, we'll get home. Like, when? Like, I mean, we've been doing this for how long?
Yeah, I know.
And then what really stuck it in here for me was when they first got up there to the mall, the first thing they see is this poor guy being had with the bracelet on, being shocked, and then yelling and screaming and being dragged off. And they're just looking at him like, eh. And I'm like,
this is the thing they do here.
I mean, I understood why Arturo was distracted. His main focus was the baby. But the other three, I'm like, because when this show first started, that was their main focus when they got to these worlds, was not only getting to the next world, but trying to put right whatever was going wrong. And if they saw somebody being drug off or being hurt, they wouldn't just stand there and be like, eh. They would do something about it. And it just felt like, it felt so, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it just felt like they were so jaded and they've been doing this for so long that they just stopped caring. Like they just, they're just kind of going through the motions, do what we got to do, get to the next world. Like they become so desensitized to what's going on around them, except for Arturo and Wade. You would think Quinn would care more. He used to care more. And now all he can do is go, Wade, I'm hungry. Give me some food.
It does make the photo at the end of the episode, but Lisa was just saying that photo at the end of the episode, like unknowing
Really
at the
hit.
time that was the one of the last times they'd all be together as a family
Exactly. I think
before Exodus, and
that's what I'm saying. That's these little moments here. They're doing these things so that when that happens, because only a few episodes after this, Arturo is gone.
Yeah, it's like 6 episodes.
Right.
And
would have
then
been nice for that
episodes,
photo to pop up later.
And then a few episodes after that is the end of season 3, and Wade vanishes. Never to be, only to be seen once. Way
The show gets
later.
remade in Fox's image.
So you could just sense it that things were coming. That the two of them were like, she was totally resigned. I think Arturo, I'm not sure if I'm remembering this right, but didn't he already know that he didn't have long, that he was dying?
At this point, yes.
So I think he was doing whatever he could to make things better for people. He was trying to help and make some sort of lasting impression because he knew he didn't have long left.
Right.
Well,
and
in opposition to that, Quinn has become a brat. Complete fucking brat.
Because I think that the executives and the writers had a different idea of how to portray him as awkward and geeky. The original writers and certainly Tracy Torme had the right idea. I think, a little maybe socially, distant, a little bit awkward, shy around women. Remember that?
Yeah.
That disappeared. I mean, but anyway, I also think constant sliding it takes a toll, I would think. Because you're going from world to world to world and none of them's quite right. And there's something wrong with everything, that you feel a need to fix. They've been to dozens of different parallel Earths. They're dealing with all sorts of new issues alongside their pre-existing ones psychologically, because they all bring some baggage. Rembrandt, I think you could justify his vulnerability to the subliminals over everyone else's as him trying to proactively head off being trapped. Because very early in the first season, we had a beat where the first thing Rembrandt did as soon as he gained his feet was look around, see what's different, see what they can do, see what to protect themselves. He's immediately in hypervigilant mode. And I think a subset of that is being shown here, or they just may be going for the joke. You could go either way. But the thing I look at is he was a person of color, a Navy veteran who lived through the 1960s, has already had to watch his back in multiple senses in his own world. And now he's having to do that in every parallel world that they visit. And he's an incredibly generous soul. I think there may be an expression of that there.
Hmm.
Having to travel light means he doesn't usually get to show this side of himself. And as you point out, I don't know how he's going to get everybody getting the gifts through the wormhole.
Yeah.
But again,
But-
I think they may have also just overdone it for the visual gag.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. Yeah, it is true, and I actually had written that down, that there is a certain amount of desensitization that you expect because they've been doing this for so long, and they've come to realize that if they continuously try so hard to change things and save worlds and save people, you can't save everyone. And trying to do that every single time and knowing it's not always going to work, it can beat you down. Like,
Oh, yeah.
seriously, emotionally, mentally, and psychologically can beat you down, because these are the type of people, they want to help people. They want to make things better. And they know that. And when they see that they can't, when something goes wrong and it doesn't work, I think it would hurt them all. So they've kind of come to have their own ways of coping with it, I guess, and not to get too involved, too connected with people, because they can't ever stay there. They have to leave.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
Which
I was
this-
I was thinking about the whole like Arturo mystery illness subplot that ran throughout half of season 3. I was wondering if at some point that illness, whatever, may have been like the tracking device from season 2's episode Invasion.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Arturo was meant to be the original person that had the implant, and then when John Rhys Davies was let go from the show, they just had to give it to somebody. But
Yeah.
I always thought that illness just came up out of nowhere. Like there was no lead up to it. It was just new episode. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder if they had more plans for Arturo.
Uh-huh.
You
Hmm.
guys think maybe Jerry acting the way that he was as Quinn at this point in the shows is because Jerry just said "F it"? Like he was getting tired of the way things were going on behind the
Oh,
scenes,
see.
and he was just like,
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
I
you
don't
had-
I do
know.
get a very
felt
real
that it-
sense that he was very much taking direction by this point because of the
Yeah.
way his character turned on a dime. He goes
Hmm.
from starving to, ooh, pretty.
Mhm.
And he's easily distracted by shiny objects. And so I think, yeah, I think you're right. I think that he has gone around and just like, well, I'm going to hit my marks. I'm going to do what the director tells me. I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be a meat puppet.
Mhm.
Well, John Rhys Davies was actually Jerry O'Connell's acting mentor
Yeah.
oh, wow.
during the show. And there was a story going around that when word got out that John was leaving the show, Jerry kind of didn't know how he was going to carry it because he was still in his early, or mid 20s.
Yeah.
And
he's
now
very young.
the entire show was going to be on his characters. So
Yeah.
I remember hearing through the grapevine somewhere, along the, internet
Uh,
that he was actually talking to, John off camera, like, hey, how am I going to do this? Like, what should I do? You got like advice? Like nobody wanted him to go.
I think that's
And it was just network interference. That's what it all came down to. They wanted somebody, I think, with more sex appeal, and they had to replace somebody. So they figured they'd get rid of the professor. And it's like, you were just giving him some of the best storylines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
I think
And then it's like, nope, we're done with you. And it's like,
I think that's one of the reasons why Jerry lobbied to get his brother on to play Connor,
Charlie. Yeah, Charlie. Yeah.
to
Oh,
play
Colin. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
because with John Rhys Davies gone and then Sabrina Lloyd, like the two heart and souls of the show.
Yeah.
I think at that Jerry was. I am almost certain that if his brother had not been cast on the show, he would have been like peace, because
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
without
yeah.
with the two of them gone, what was even the point? The show has gone so far from what it was originally supposed to be that without Sabrina was the heart.
Mm-hmm.
If Rembrandt was the soul, Sabrina was the heart.
Yeah.
And with Arturo gone and with her gone, it's like,
Yeah.
I would have hoped that loss. I know that Arturo's loss severely affected Quinn because they were very close. And he considered him like a father figure because he had lost his father when he was very young. And then losing Wade, knowing he was not able to tell her the things that he wanted to tell her. And be honest, with her about how he felt. I would have hoped that in season 4 that would turn the show in a better direction to more, what it needed to be. But no, because they got military chick. All you need is someone that looks really hot, right? Good enough.
That was actually
enough.
David Peckinpah. He was actually responsible for a lot of the
Yeah.
changes that we're talking about right
Mhm.
now. And he had the reputation because his uncle, Sam Peckinpah, worked on movies in the 70s like Convoy.
Yeah, ultraviolet.
And they both
yeah,
had
no.
similar problems with addiction. They both had controlling personalities whenever they were on set. So
Mhm.
their name already was kind of like had negative connotations in Hollywood. So by the time David started taking over the show, we get what we have for season 3. So there's like a whole like story about that too. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why when they take that picture, my heart just hurt because I
Yeah.
knew what was coming.
Mhm.
I might not have known it then because we didn't have the net then like we do now, but
Yeah.
I knew what was coming. I knew this.
Wade should have gotten that picture. She should have gotten a copy of
Mhm.
that picture, or they could have had a Polaroid.
Yeah.
Snap it,
That's
boom,
what I was
take a couple,
wondering.
give
Thinking
her
too.
one to take with her.
Mhm.
It would have been nice to see that photo come back later, maybe after Arturo had left. They're looking at that photo.
Yeah.
Mm.
It could have been, there was so
Yeah.
much missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
it would be the last truly like nice, calm, peaceful, together, familial moment that they will ever have.
Yeah.
After this, it just like
Yep.
craziness never stops.
Yeah. Yeah. All
It's
right.
just sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
I mean, the episode had a lot of great work from all the principals, but especially Sabrina Lloyd as Wade.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And not only did it serve the story and serve her character and serve everybody around her in a beautiful way from a story standpoint, it also shows us just how badly her and her character were routinely underutilized
Yep.
Yes.
in almost every episode. This was one of those rare episodes where everybody got something to do. She got a huge amount of work to do.
Mhm.
Everybody that appeared on screen had a reason to be there, and a lot of them were monumental.
Yeah.
But her in particular, I agree with you now in retrospect. I didn't see it at the time because I didn't look into it that deeply, Lisa, but
Mhm.
you're right. The writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
But that's what hurt the most because she was going through so much. And the Quinn
Yeah.
I know, the Quinn we all know, would have been there for her from the jump. He would have given her a
Mhm.
hug. He would have told her what she needed to hear. He would have been there for her as a shoulder to cry on. Instead, we got Brat Quinn, who could
Yeah.
care less.
Mhm.
It just, ugh.
Yeah.
That was one thing that surprised me about the show is what I had remembered from years ago was that they were a team working together. And like they started that way, they were all working at Santa's workshop, but they all got pulled away from each other and they were very siloed for quite a bit of the episode.
Yeah.
Like you almost could have each character almost got to have their own episode as a character development. They were
Yeah.
so isolated at times. So that quite surprised me. Because they weren't relying on each other. They were actually kind of making strong, I think, stronger than you maybe would have expected connections with everybody else, knowing that they're gone, um, in 2 days.
Mhm.
Except, except for Rembrandt, who was going on a shopping spree, and he knew he wasn't going to have to pay that back anyways.
That's a good point.
So, yeah.
I got through that entire episode without realizing that. Thank you so much for that.
Kind of like that episode.
It's
That just
wonderful
came
when
to
it,
me.
yeah,
With
no,
the
that's
lawyers?
a great insight because you just helped us all realize that, yeah, Rembrandt saw through a massive plot hole
Yeah.
and exploited it mercilessly.
What was that season 2 episode? Was it was shown in the opening where they're on a world where everybody was suing everybody. Everyone was a
Yeah.
lawyer.
Yeah.
Werewolf.
And
Great fellas.
Rembrandt's like,
Yeah.
fill us on the next earth, and then
Yeah.
jumps through. It just
Yeah.
reminded me of that.
That was the other one that I'd mentioned to Mike that stuck with me was the lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
If you feel that
Yeah.
strongly about it, bill me
Yeah.
on the next earth.
Yeah.
And that was just a cold open for the episode too. That was we
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perry was on with us. We talked about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the cold opens for these shows are some of the best TV out there.
Mhm.
because they have that flexibility and that freedom. We're going to jump through a portal here, so let's have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, we saw that with Ice
Yeah.
Cream World
Yeah.
and a ton of other
Yeah.
ones. Hey, unlimited free ice cream, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one. I actually got a question for everybody. The seasons 1 through 3 episodes on Fox, the special effects, do you think they were better on Fox than they were on the Sci-Fi Channel? Because it seems like when they made the move to Sci-Fi, the special effects and everything just took a major downgrade.
I've heard that too a little bit.
Well, NBC Universal, who before Comcast bought all of it, owned Sci-Fi on its own, did not seem to want to spend a lot of money on original stuff on Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
It was one of the reasons why a lot of the Sci-Fi original movies were some hybrid creature shot in Croatia with, a $3 budget and actors that were famous 25 years ago.
Yeah. It just seemed like everything took a major dip in quality. And you'd think with this network called Sci-Fi Channel, it would be bigger, better, have more given more TLC.
Yeah.
And it was just it felt like Temu version of Sliders.
Oh yeah, well, you
It
got
was
to
like the
realize when
Temu version
Comcast
of
took over-
itself. So I'm just kind of confused
Honestly,
by that.
I think it all depends on the production companies themselves. Because at the time, let me see, Sliders ended 2001.
2000.
Was it
2000.
2000.
Yeah, beginning of 2000.
This was just before Farscape and The Invisible Man. And the Farscape and The Invisible Man had some killer special effects.
Yeah,
But
especially
this
the
was-
Invisible Man. Thanks for reminding me of that.
But
Yes,
this
that
was
a great-
because their individual production companies cared about making sure, especially Farscape, because it was done in conjunction with Jim Henson Studios. And Jim Henson ain't gonna put his name on shit unless it looks good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
well,
weren't
by
they
that
mostly
time, Brian
Canadian
Henson was in charge,
productions?
obviously, but at the same time, Brian Henson has proven to be an outstanding steward for that company.
Yeah.
Even
So-
notwithstanding the Disney takeover and the shuttering of Muppet Vision 3D, which I will not talk about because this is not a Disney podcast. But
What were you asking, Arthur?
on that
Oh.
note, though, Farscape, I think, also had participation from either CTV or CBC in Canada.
Okay. Mhm.
And also,
Canada
it
actually
was
some of the best
filmed in
sci-fi. I will
Australia
say
under
that about
primarily an
Canada. It was some
Australian
of the
production
best
company. I think they
sci-fi.
also had
Mhm.
the Australian production company down there, their money, their backing, and
Exactly.
Mhm.
their studio.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man, I think, was mostly done in California, so it had a lot more Hollywood backing. I
Thought it
think
was
when they
Vancouver.
got Sliders, they started to see, well, maybe, because this was just before they started doing their own original programming. I think they were like, well, Sliders is doing good. Maybe we should start our own original stuff. So we need to invest in, better special effects and whatever. So I'm still mad that Farscape is gone. I'm still mad that The Invisible Man is gone.
Mhm.
I loved those shows, loved them. And now Sci-Fi Channel isn't even a Sci-Fi Channel anymore. I don't even know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
It's so bad that they've actually not just cut the budget further, but they've cut 2/3 of the letters out of the name.
Well, did you guys know that Jerry O'Connell's actually trying to bring Sliders back?
Yeah.
There was something with the rights holders because Stargate is coming back. Well, they're owned by Amazon,
That's
but
right.
Stargate's coming back, and that was another sci-fi epic series. So sci-fi is making a comeback. There's an interest for Stargate. Sliders is not that far behind because newer generations are finding these shows for the first time, falling in love with them, and the power of
Are you talking
Pluto,
like a reboot?
Pluto TV. Maybe Slider gets its own.
You talking like a
channel,
reboot or a continuation?
Well,
know what
because it's parallel worlds, they could say we weren't following the right team for seasons 4 and 5, and they could
Oh
easily
God,
explain.
please let that be, because I don't think there's any way that you could, especially in season 5 when Jerry left and he was merged with the other actor. There's no way that you can unfuck that.
Is that the first time that word's been used on the show?
Probably. Probably.
Oh, I actually did know. While we're on the subject, there was actually this story got around where at one point during season 5, the writers were convinced that sci-fi wasn't paying attention to them. And one of the rules back in the 1990s and early 2000s was that for network TV, you cannot have a character with a gun to their head.
Mhm.
So they actually wrote a scene, I think it was Mallory, where he gets his head blown off. Opening scene, his head's blown off. they sent that script to see if they were paying attention. They came back, okay, you guys are good to air, and they're like, no. So they had to go back and they did the actual
I heard
cold
that too.
opening,
Couldn't
but
have
nobody was paying
gun
attention.
to
And that's
your
like
head.
this.
Did they like miss Magnum PI, Miami Vice, freaking
Yeah.
18? Like what?
Yeah.
Well, wait, was Magnum a Universal production at that point? Because I know it aired on CBS, but it was produced by someone else. I think it was Bell Sarius.
Mm-hmm.
But he was
Yeah.
working on Warner, Universal, or CBS sets at the time?
I don't know. I don't
Because
remember.
it was one of the few shows on CBS at the time where the cars weren't provided by Ford.
Mm. Yeah.
So I don't remember. But yeah, Magnum PI in particular, there was a fair amount of gunplay.
Yeah,
I
well-
think more gunplay than actually on the islands at the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hill Street Blues,
total.
Daniel Lacey. I mean, come on. Like there was all kinds of shows where it was Miami Vice more than anything, hyper violent.
Yeah, those Miami Vice and Hill Street Blues are both very much NBC shows, so you'd think. But were there ever guns to heads on those shows? I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, Miami Vice was super violent because it was meant to be movies on TV.
Yeah.
Was their kind of feel of it.
Mhm.
Cannell was always very good at having a lot of violence, but you'd never see blood.
Right.
Like,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
you
Well,
could
look at
pull up a
Renegade.
car with 4
Mhm.
people in the car, and you would see all 4 people crawling away.
Yeah, they
Somehow
stumble up.
unarmed.
Yeah,
No,
the
there was,
Cannell on the A Team, I think they destroyed probably 200 or 300 cars in their 4 seasons, but they only killed like 1 or 2 people. It
Mhm.
was very rare.
Renegade was another show from one of Cannell's like most known shows. Renegade. You
Yeah,
have like people flying off motorcycles, car crashes, gunplay. And if someone gets shot, you don't see like the bullet wound, you don't see the injury, nothing. It's just like they're grabbing their shoulder or their
Yeah.
arm, but there's nothing there. So it's clean violence. I don't know if there's another word for it, but
although I
clean
do love
violence.
the thought though that if you're shot in the shoulder and someone says, "Oh, he only winged you," no,
Yeah.
there are multiple major blood vessels coming out of the shoulder. That, to say nothing of the bone damage, if you get like a small caliber high speed round into the shoulder blade, you're going to look at
Are any of
reconstructing the
you
whole.
familiar with Funny or Die?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Yes.
yeah.
Jerry O'Connell did a skit, a sliders
Mhm.
parody 8 or 9
I
years ago
remember.
where he actually misses the slide and he has that freak
I remember that.
Ah,
where he flips off the cops and then he jumps through, but he misses the portal and it's like, oh
I
no.
remember it.
And the cops are staring at him. It's like, whoa, wait, okay.
Yeah.
That was
All I
like I think
all I
the
can say
biggest
is-
what if, like they missed the slide, what would happen? You tell someone off and
Yeah.
then they missed the slide and then you're stuck. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, let me explain.
All I can say is this: if they are going to do some sort of sliders continuation, season 4 and 5 got to be totally ignored,
Oh, retcon it.
and they must save Wade. They absolutely what
100%.
they did to her, they did her so goddamn dirty. It just
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
me so
Oh
mad.
yeah,
Well, they could say that the Earth Prime that was taken over is supposed to be our Earth. They could easily say, oh, it was like one of those Earth double primes from post-traumatic slide
Yeah,
syndrome
yeah, something
things.
like
yeah.
And they could say, oh, that wasn't ours, but it was close enough. So we were even fooled. Plausible, acceptable, quick, and you can move
I
on.
mean,
yeah.
Get
Yeah.
everybody back. Because everybody said they would do it.
Yeah.
Well,
Except I think Sabrina Lloyd's like retired from acting now.
Yeah,
but
sort
John
of.
Rhys Davies,
John
he's
Rhys Davies
he's a little
said
too
he would
old.
love to do it. Jerry O'Connell, Clevant
Yeah.
Derricks, they're like, let's just make it happen.
I heard
So-
John
Yeah.
Rhys Davies, he's a little too old for that. I don't know if he could.
But I'll
He's-
bet
he's
if
waiting
you got
for
the
the
right
petition, though, too,
creative
so.
team in place.
Yeah.
If
Besides,
you
at
got the
least
right
gotta find
creative
the
team in
real
place and
professor.
showed Sabrina Lloyd a script where she actually got to do what she did here in seasons
Mhm.
Greetings, you might at least get her back for a cameo, maybe
Yeah.
even a reasonably scened. She finds her Earth. Maybe it's not the original Earth, but it's an Earth she can live with,
Yeah.
or at least
and she
like,
gets a happy
they,
ending of some
they,
kind.
they managed to find her at the breeding place before she gets turned into the living computer. They save her, they get her out, and then she doesn't want to travel with them because she's been so affected by what happened that they find a place for her that she can, that she can be happy. Arturo, I don't want them to mess with that because that death was so impactful and
Mhm.
so it was such a big deal. If
That's a
they
good
were to
point.
like alive him, that would I hate when they do that because
Well,
it's writers have it's Russell, not Russell. Stephen Moffat has this massive
Oh,
problem where he
God.
doesn't let his characters just die. Let them die. For God's sakes, let them die. He'll kill them and then he'll bring them back, which just one, that
Clara
took away all the
was the worst
stakes,
for that.
and two, all the emotional impact is just gone. And I wouldn't have thought that Russell would do that, but then he did with Donna in the 60th, and I was like, screw you.
I know when on that subject, I know when I was working with my publisher right after I got signed, the opening chapter, because it was dealing with time travel, I had the main character killed 3 times in that book. He sent me notes like, you might want to tone it down a little bit. You know, we get it. It's dangerous, but you've killed this poor guy 3 different ways already. Pick one, stick with it. And I'm just like, I get it.
Yeah.
So now I have that in mind. I see these TV shows and it's like, you've already done that. Do something else. It's like Daniel Jackson and Stargate. Every season he dies differently, but he dies.
Yeah.
I guess every show's got that
for a while.
character.
That's all because of behind the scenes stuff. That was because freaking Michael Shanks wanted out, so they had to replace him. Not that Corin Nemec was bad. It was just, I mean, Daniel Jackson is such an intrinsic character to the show. It's kind of hard for it not to be there. So that only lasted for a season, and then he was reborn and came back. Emotional stakes gone. Nobody really dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think the audience likes to be reminded constantly that continuity is malleable. Yes, we know their stories, but let's actually have one that works, you know.
I mean,
That's also why we have fanfic. We can, if we want something, we can do it.
Right.
It's all over the place. YouTube, fan films, everything. Maybe there
yeah.
could be a fan film
I mean,
based on sliders.
Case in point, in season 4 that aired in 2008 of Doctor Who, and it's funny because when Donna first came on as his companion, no one could stand her at first because she was a loud mouth. Because Catherine Tate she's a comic actress. That's what she's known for.
Yeah.
And because of the harsh loss of Rose and Martha, nobody wanted to deal with somebody who was a fishwife. But somehow they just managed to connect because there was so much complicated going on between Rose and Martha and him, and she was not a romantic interest for him. She was a friend.
No, they made that clear.
Which he really needed, just a friend to set him straight and to like smack him upside the head whenever he got too into his own brain. So eventually she just came to be beloved. Like they just absolutely adored her. And then when she died, because her whole character arc was massive. She started out as this person who had no direction in life. All she did was she had like temp jobs and her mother treated her like shit. And, you know, the only person that was good to her was her grandfather. And she had no self-confidence whatsoever. And then through her adventures with the doctor, she found herself. And she realized that there was a person in there that was worth something.
Yeah.
She gave her life for it.
Yeah.
And that is
worse than that, she gave her memory.
She gave up the Donna that she became.
Yeah.
Which just destroyed people. And the doctor too, just it was so sad. So when 60th anniversary comes and we know that Catherine Tate's going to be back, all of us were like, how are they going to do this? Because as soon as she sees him, if she remembers, she'll burn, like she'll die. That was the whole thing. Yeah. And then that almost does happen. Like he apparently, what we did not see was that he installed a psychic trigger in her mind that if he needed her to remember, that he would give her a series of words and it would unlock the memories to bring her back, but he was never going to use it because he would kill her. But in this case, since they were separated by glass and he needed her expertise because she had half of his brain, he knew that if he did this, she was going to die, but he had no choice. And it was killing him. It killed him to do it. But he did it, and then she died. But she didn't, because her daughter also had a part of her DNA which contained his power too. So they just diffused it together and they let it go.
Yeah, they
and
let it go.
And I'm like,
all it was missing was the song.
Do you understand the impact that her death had in 2008 and how much that destroyed people for what she gave up after everything that she had become? that loss was, I can't even describe to you the magnitude of that loss. And
Mhm.
all those emotional stakes
Yeah.
gone
Yeah.
in one scene.
Mhm.
Like it would meant nothing. I cannot stand when writers and directors do this shit.
Mhm.
Stop. Stop.
Kill your darlings, I think, is the authorial
Yeah.
phrase.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else we want to say about this before? Because we're going a bit long, so I know we had some more notes left, but
I think for me, the only other thing I had was I was so happy that the father didn't try to turn it into a romance thing.
oh.
Oh God.
I think we're there. We're all there with you. I
Yeah.
think that could have been real
Yeah.
ugly.
Yeah.
It was like
If
that
it was
with-
produced by
yeah.
Showtime, then
Yeah.
Showtime during the 90s, we all know, and I'm not going to say anything else about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reference Outer Limits.
Red Shoe Diaries, if these walls could talk.
We're back on television that didn't age well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess Perry, if you wanted to talk about Kelly and her father, that's kind of like one of the last points you got. So
Yeah, I mentioned that Kelly originally Wade was going to have Kelly explain the whole sliding thing to Don, and then the father, and then they slide right in front of Kelly and Don. So
Mhm.
probably she doesn't have too much to wrap up there. Just that this is a thing they do.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Are we pretty much? I think we've pretty much like exhausted the discussion.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
we
there
hit
are
all
a
the
few
main
memorable
points
lines.
Yeah.
of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, I stole one of yours earlier.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I've talked about this already 3 or 4 times, so
But I also talked about the who would want calling bugs.
Yeah.
And I think it's about giving too many presents.
Yeah.
That may have been one of the first deconstructions of 12 Days of Christmas, which we now know as a song of abusive gift giving.
Mhm. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I've seen memes of giving 7 waterfowl to anybody is an act of violence.
Okay, so our final thoughts and ratings on this. I guess you want to go first, Perry?
I will.
Yeah.
I gave this episode 9 dystopian consumerism predictions out of 10.
All right, Eric.
I believe I gave it 8 floating mall fortresses out of 10.
Lisa, what do you get it?
8 shock bracelets out of 10.
Peter.
I gave it 8 company store deductions out of 10. It would have been 9, but I had to subtract 1 store credit for wasting company time on child welfare.
Savage.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us on this. This was a lot of fun. We went a little off track, but I think we made our points.
I hear that happens sometimes on podcasts.
Yeah, I know it does. All right, I'm not going to get into all the other stuff that we were going to do for so I guess we'll just wrap it up. All right, so Perry, where can everybody find you?
You can find me online, and I'm Brunsworks on pretty much all the social media except the obvious one that I don't go on anymore. And you can find me live in Murder Mystery Company shows across Florida and online on Zoom. MurderMysteryCo.com is where you can find more information and details. And with Tampa Metropolitan Improv, our next show was December 12th. So now, because today is Christmas Eve, your next show to see us is on January 23rd at the Carrollwood Cultural Center main stage on Lowell Road in Carrollwood.
Nice. All right.
And we'll make stuff up for you.
Yeah. All right, Eric.
Yes, I find me on Facebook, Eric Dreiling Author. I'm always updating the page every 3 to 5 days, always something new. You can also find me at jumpmasterpress.com. I just completed my military sci-fi trilogy, Fractured Timeline, with book 3, Operation Viper's Den, expected to release sometime 2026. So I'll be posting that all over my Facebook page, so you can find me there too.
Yeah. All right, Lisa.
You can always find me, Fam of the Broadgrass, at YouTube, on the YouTubes. I would prefer not to do Twitter anymore. I still have the account, but I don't hardly even bother with it because it's just disgusting now. So
What do we
X,
say? X the
whatever.
X? Yeah, X the X.
X the X.
It's pretty disgusting now,
Yeah.
so I don't even
Yeah.
bother with it anymore. But I actually broke down, and you're not gonna believe this. Mostly to keep in touch with my kids, but I broke down and got myself a TikTok.
Oh.
Not that I really do anything with it, but it's
Mhm.
mostly just to,
Yeah.
be closer to my children.
Yeah.
So there's also fans of the broadcast there.
Mm.
I do like to do the TikTok videos, although they can get a little political somewhat, but
Mhm.
I don't really have a lot of time to do what I did before with the video logging anymore. Like I said, I have no life because I work
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you'll be back with us later in the season, so we'll talk more then. All right. Peter, how about you?
You can find me on Blue Sky as Granite Rock, or on Mastodon as Granite at Mastodon.games. And I do a little bit of hobby level casual gaming, but nothing too serious or regular at this point.
All right. Take us out, Mike.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us. This was a blast, even if it was a very tangential blast. But thanks for chatting about this episode with us. For the video, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed our discussion and subscribe to our channel. And if there are other Sliders fans in your lives, share the video with them and make the season bright. You can share your opinions in the comments below or on any of our social channels, and we'll do a roundup in future videos. You can also visit our website at fandomentanglement.com, where you can find all our past videos and links to our social media channels, including YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, and Mastodon. So until next time, I am Mike.
I'm Damon. Perry, Eric, Lisa,
next?
Peter.
Oh, I'm Perry. The best gift you can give this
Lisa.
year is time with your loved ones, friends, or your favorite enemies.
Well,
You say, I'm here.
tis the season.
Good night, Eric.
Enjoy it with family, friends. Call an old
I'll go
army
last next
buddy.
Lisa.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
Peter.
Christmas, Happy New Year, and just remember you can max out those credit cards if you have a jump in mind.
All right. We'll see you next time, everybody. And we'll be back
Merry
tomorrow for our
Christmas.
last one. Merry Christmas. Bye.
Merry Christmas,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Happy holidays to all who celebrate.